Arbitrage has been pitched as the ultimate real estate cheat code. The pitch sounds brilliant. You lease an apartment, furnish it, and flip it onto the short-term rental market for a profit. No mortgages, no property taxes, no massive down payments. You list it on Airbnb. You charge short-term guests significantly more per night than your monthly rent divided by 30 days. You pocket the difference. No mortgage, no property purchase, no down payment. Just a lease, some furniture, and a listing. It is called Airbnb Arbitrage, and depending on who you listen to, it is either a life-changing business opportunity or one of the most overhyped side hustles of the last decade. Today, we are going to tell you the complete truth about it, the real opportunity, the real risks, the real numbers, and the real reason most people who try it quietly stop within 12 months. Let me start with the version of the story that the people selling Airbnb arbitrage courses want you to hear. Someone signs a lease on a 2-bedroom apartment in a desirable city for $2,000 per month. They spend $5,000 furnishing and photographing it beautifully. They list it on Airbnb at $150 per night. If they achieve 80% occupancy, which is 24 nights out of 30, they generate $3,600 in monthly revenue. After the $2,000 rent, the $200 in utilities and supplies, the Airbnb service fees of approximately $300, and the cleaning costs of perhaps $400, they are left with approximately $700 profit per month. They repeat this with 3 apartments, and they are making $2,100 per month from a portfolio of short-term rentals they do not own. It sounds compelling, and in a specific set of circumstances, it is genuinely possible. Before we get started, take a second to like or subscribe to Kraftwise. It's a simple action from you, but it helps this video reach other money-minded people like you. But here is where the story that the course sellers tell you ends and the real story begins. Because the version above assumes perfect conditions. Conditions that rarely exist simultaneously in the real world and that become harder to maintain with every passing month of operation. The first reality of Airbnb arbitrage is the landlord problem. Most landlords do not allow subletting on short-term platforms. It is typically prohibited in standard residential lease agreements, and in many jurisdictions, it is illegal without explicit landlord consent. This means before you can run Airbnb arbitrage legitimately, you need to find a landlord who not only permits it, but who is willing to put that permission in writing. Because if your lease prohibits subletting, and your landlord discovers you are operating a short-term rental business from their property, you face immediate eviction and potential legal liability. Finding landlords who explicitly permit Airbnb subletting in desirable short-term rental markets, the markets where the numbers work, is significantly harder than the course sellers suggest. Most experienced landlords in high-demand areas are either operating their own short-term rentals or specifically prohibiting tenants from doing so, precisely because they understand the opportunity they would be giving away. The second reality is the regulatory environment. Short-term rental regulations have tightened dramatically in most major cities around the world over the past 5 years. New York City effectively banned most short-term rentals in 2023 under Local Law 18, one of the strictest short-term rental regulations implemented anywhere in the world. Barcelona has announced it will not renew short-term rental licenses when they expire. Amsterdam limits Airbnb rentals to 30 nights per year per property. Tokyo requires hosts to register and limits rental days to 180 per year. Berlin, Paris, Edinburgh, Lisbon, city after city has introduced regulations that cap rental nights, require host registration, restrict which properties can be listed, and impose significant fines for non-compliance. The regulatory direction globally is unmistakably toward restriction rather than expansion. Someone building an Airbnb arbitrage business in 2026 is building on regulatory ground that is moving beneath their feet, and the direction of movement is not in their favor. The third reality is the occupancy assumption. The 70 to 80% occupancy rates that make Airbnb arbitrage profitable in the example scenarios are achievable, but they are not guaranteed, and they are not consistent. Occupancy rates vary dramatically by city, by neighborhood within a city, by season, by the competitive density of listings in the immediate area, and by how well the listing is managed, photographed, priced, and reviewed. A new listing with no reviews in a market with hundreds of established competitors will not achieve 80% occupancy in its first months of operation. An Airbnb property in a seasonal tourist market will generate strong revenue in peak season and potentially devastating vacancy in the off-season. The profit calculation that works at 80% occupancy becomes break-even or loss-making at 50% occupancy, and the lease obligation continues regardless of how many nights the property is booked. The fourth reality is the operational intensity. Airbnb arbitrage is not passive income. It is a hospitality business compressed into an apartment. It requires guest communication, responding to inquiries promptly, managing check-in logistics, handling complaints and issues at any hour. It requires professional cleaning between every guest stay, a cost that scales directly with occupancy, meaning the more successful the listing, the higher the cleaning bill. It requires ongoing maintenance. The accelerated wear and tear of short-term hospitality use degrades furnishings, fixtures, and appliances significantly faster than normal residential use. It requires active pricing management, adjusting nightly rates in response to local events, seasonality, competitor pricing, and platform algorithm changes. Someone running 3 Airbnb arbitrage properties is effectively running a small hotel operation with all the demands that implies, without owning any of the underlying real estate. The fifth reality is the capital requirement. The entry cost of Airbnb arbitrage is not the zero down payment proposition that its proponents sometimes imply. Furnishing a 2-bedroom apartment to the standard required to compete effectively on Airbnb, quality bed linens, photogenic furniture, good lighting, kitchen equipment, toiletries, and the photography to present it all attractively typically costs between $5,000 and $15,000, depending on the market and the standard you are targeting. This capital is at risk. If the landlord terminates the lease for any reason, including discovering the subletting, the operator loses their furniture investment with little warning. If local regulations change and prohibit the short-term rental, the capital invested in furnishing the property cannot be recovered. Unlike property investment, where the asset itself holds value, the capital deployed in Airbnb arbitrage is almost entirely tied to the continued viability of the lease and the regulatory permission to operate. The sixth reality is the platform dependency. Your entire Airbnb arbitrage business runs through a platform you do not control. Airbnb can change its algorithm, affecting your listing visibility and occupancy rates. It can change its fee structure, affecting your profitability. It can change its policies in response to regulatory pressure, potentially removing your listing entirely. Your listing can be suspended following a single negative review or a guest complaint, regardless of whether the complaint is legitimate. You have no direct relationship with your guests. Airbnb mediates all communication and holds the guest data. Building a business entirely dependent on a single platform that you have no influence over and no contractual protection from is a structural fragility that experienced business operators consider carefully. None of this means Airbnb arbitrage cannot work. It can, and it does, for a specific type of operator in a specific type of market under specific conditions. The operators who succeed at Airbnb arbitrage share several characteristics. They are in markets with genuine short-term rental demand, tourism cities, conference cities, cities with consistent business travel, where nightly rates significantly exceed monthly rent divided by 30. They have explicit written landlord permission for subletting, removing the legal and eviction risk from the equation. They operate in regulatory environments that are stable or favorable, or they have done serious research on the regulatory trajectory of their specific city and made a considered judgment about longevity. They treat it as a genuine business, investing time in listing quality, pricing strategy, guest experience, and operational efficiency, rather than expecting the platform to do the work for them. And they have sufficient capital and financial resilience to absorb months of below expectation occupancy during the learning curve without the business collapsing. The operators who fail at Airbnb arbitrage, and there are many more of these than the success stories suggest, share a different set of characteristics. They entered the business based on optimistic example calculations presented by people who have a financial incentive to sell them a course. They underestimated the difficulty of finding landlords who permit subletting in genuinely profitable markets. They did not conduct serious research into local short-term rental regulations and found themselves on the wrong side of a regulatory change they did not anticipate. They achieved significantly lower occupancy rates than projected, particularly in the early months before the listing accumulated reviews, and found the fixed lease cost unmanageable against variable and unpredictable revenue. They discovered that managing guests, cleaning coordination, and maintenance across multiple properties is significantly more demanding than a passive income business model implies. So what is the honest verdict on Airbnb arbitrage as a business model in 2026? It is a real opportunity that requires real business skill, real regulatory research, real capital, and a realistic assessment of the specific market you intend to operate in. It is not a shortcut to passive income. It is not the zero-risk real estate alternative it is sometimes presented as. And it is not a business model that is getting easier. The regulatory environment, the competitive density on the platform, and the increasing sophistication of landlords who understand what subletting arbitrage means for their property are all moving in directions that make new entry harder rather than easier over time. If you are genuinely interested in exploring Airbnb arbitrage, the most important things you can do before spending a single dollar are these. Research the short-term rental regulations in your specific target city, not the country generally, but the specific municipality, because regulations vary enormously at the local level, and many cities have already closed the door on short-term rentals in residential properties. Research whether landlords in your target market are willing to grant explicit subletting permission in writing, and do this before you get excited about the numbers. Model your profitability at 50% occupancy rather than 80%, because your fixed lease cost exists regardless of occupancy, and you need to know what the business looks like in a bad month before you commit to it in a good one. And be honest with yourself about whether you want to run a hospitality business, because that is what this is, regardless of how passive the marketing makes it sound. The truth about Airbnb arbitrage is that it is a legitimate business model dressed up in passive income clothing. Where I live, there are a couple of Airbnb houses that are actually doing pretty well and are constantly occupied. For most people who approach it based on optimistic projections and insufficient research, it generates stress, financial loss, and a very expensive education in the gap between how businesses are sold and how they actually operate. What I would recommend is to talk to people who are already in the business and find out what experiences they have so you know exactly what to expect when you get into this business. Click here to watch our video on 5 businesses you can start with AI in 2026, because understanding the full range of modern business models helps you make a genuinely informed decision about where your time and capital can work hardest for you.